Hey, my name is Ricardo Hospitales. I'm here with one of the most influential businessmen, John Genius, whose company is taking the business world by storm.
Yeah.
Tell us about AMK and Yardman Radio, and how did you get your stand in the respective industry?
All right. AMK and Yardman Radio is two media entities within YM Media. How did I get my start in my industry? It started from TV back in high school, public access. I was on a TV show. Bloomfield, Connecticut, Bloomfield High School. Yay, stand up. Yeah, anyway. It started from when I was in Bloomfield High School as a senior. I had to choose a community service project. And I couldn't think of anything else other than this. A teacher suggested to me, won't you do TV? And I'm like, wow, for real? It's like, yeah. So I went after school. They had a TV. Some people came in, they were from some organization. They was trying to piece together a few things, and one thing led to the other. Me and the fellow students were producing our own TV show. And it was one of the coolest things. After an episode would air, when I was one of the hosts on the show, some of the students would come in like, hey, I saw you on TV. Yeah, it was so good. You got some good questions. And, I'm just sitting here smelling myself like, yeah, thank you. My little swag and my little chest was up. But yeah, that's how I got my start. And from there, it just kind of fed a beast because, after I got a service, I wanted to be an artist. That part of me died down a little bit, and I found a way to get back on TV here in Atlanta. Was to just basically, the whole public service route again, and provide a outlet for some artists I was managing or just being cool with for other artists as well. So when that came about, it was like, jumped on it. I hosted one season, then I fell behind the cameras, a little bit, and all I could say, the rest was history, basically, because, it was kind of born from when I was in high school, and that allowed me to understand and start YM Media, which creates AMK Magazine and Yardman Radio.
So when you decided to become an entrepreneur?
I decided to become an entrepreneur once I kept getting fired from different jobs, and I realized I could not adjust to the civilian world after coming out to the military. It was hard to comprehend what somebody wants when you're trying to do something, and then they kind of go back and try to belittle your work. So it was kind of like, to hell with them. Excuse the language, I'm sorry. I was like, to hell with this. So let me just go ahead and try something on my own and see if I could get money on my own and make my own rules and follow those and be very flexible. And, with those who are taking initiative, those who are go-getters, those who are, people who understands that work don't stop unless you stop, So that's when I became an entrepreneur, or decided to become one, when I got tired of being fired for doing the right thing. Or which I thought was the right thing. Obviously, I got fired. So.
How did you get the name YM Media?
YM is short for Yard Man. Period. It is short for Yard Man. Yard Man is a term which is spelled Y-A-R-D instead of Y-A-W-D, like I spell it Y-A-W-D. And yes, I can spell, but Yard Man means Jamaican man. So being that was kind of like one of the nicknames I gave myself when I was making beats in the Marine Corps or producing tracks, whatever. I liked the name Yard Man just to be flexible or versatile. Like, yeah, this is a Jamaican dude making American beats. So people, they will ask, yo, what's Yard Man? What's Yard Man? It just means Jamaican man. So what I did was just cut it short to YM Media. It could be Young Man Media. It could be Youthful Messaging Media. It could be anything that you want it to be, but, you know, I just didn't want to put that particular name out there like that, so I just cut it short. That's how I came up with Yard Man. Or excuse me, YM Media.
What was your goal for AMK Magazine and YM Media?
The goal for AMK Magazine is to spread creativity all over the world. You know what I'm saying? It's to spread creativity, positive vibes, a positive message, and knowledge. Because we all know knowledge reigns supreme over ignorant enemies, or whatever KRS meant by that name. You know, that's his name. Knowledge reigns supreme. But that's the goal. Is basically with AMK is to put out positive images, because when you put out too much negative, it creates a bad world. So what we want to do is put out positive and creative images of people doing creative stuff, the arts, and even in the cultural stuff. Like, you know, want to teach people. You always want to teach people without being all preachy about it, or, you know what I'm saying, just being over in one zone. We just want to keep the zone right down the middle. And if you understand, you understand. If you don't understand, you need to take that short bus back to school so you can ride the long bus to learn properly, you know. So that's the whole point with AMK Magazine. And YM Media, like I said, it's just a mother company just to say, hey, we're producing this, we're producing that, we're behind this person, we're behind that person. It's just like a mothership, as to say.
And that wraps up this interview with John Genius. I am Ricardo Hospitalis with Royal Business and Corp, and we are out.